राम राम सर्वेभ्यः हृत्पूर्वकनमस्काराः स्वागतम्. I hope you're able to see the screen, Aditi.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You're able to see the video and the audio also, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Thank you. Welcome to the 34th session of Experience the Bliss of Shivananda Lahiri. Welcome to our panelists for today. We have Aditi for now, and if Charu, if you're there, please raise your hand. I will promote you to a panelist. Okay. Let us begin with Guru Vandanam. Gururev gatir gurumev bhaji Gurunaiva sahasmi namo gurave Na gurov paramam shishurasmi guroh Matirasti gurau mama pahi guru Shruti smriti purananamayam karunalayam Namami bhagavat pada shankaram loka shankaram सौन्दर्यलहरी कर्त्रे सर्वमङ्गलदायिने शङ्कराचार्यवर्याय यतिराजाय ते नमः शङ्कारूपेण मच्चित्तं पङ्कीकृतमबुद्ध्यया किङ्करीयस्य सा माया शङ्कराचार्यमाश्रये प्रह्लादवरदो देवो यो नृसिंहः परो हरिः नृसिंहोपासकं नित्यं तन्नृसिंहगुरुं भजे श्रीसच्चिदानन्द शिवाभिनव्य नृसिंह भारत्यभिधान्यतीन्द्रान् विद्यानिधीन् मन्त्रनिधिं सदात्मनिष्ठान् भजे मानवशम्भुरूपान् सदात्मध्याननिरतं विषयेभ्यः पराङ्मुखं नौमि शास्त्रेषु निष्णातं चन्द्रशेखरभारती विवेकिनं महाप्रज्ञं धैर्यौदार्यक्षमानिधिं सदाभिनवपूर्वन्तं विद्यातीर्थगुरुं भजे भारती करुणापात्रं भारती पदभूषणं भारती पदमारूढं भारती तीर्थमाश्रये भारती तीर्थपर्यन्तं भक्तहृत्तापनाशनं भवभीतिहरं देवं भावये सततं हृदि विद्या विनय संपन्नौ वीतरागौ विवेकिनं वन्दे वेदान्त तत्त्वज्ञौ विधुशेखर भारतीम् अनन्त गुणसम्पन्नामनन्ताभिधयाश्रुताम् अनन्त ज्ञानदात्रीं तां मातरं प्रणुमो वयम् गैर्वाण्या संविबोधेन जीवनं मौल्यसंयुतं या करोत्तान्नमाम्यम्बां शारदामूर्तरूपिणीम् कलाभ्यां चूडालङ्कृतशशिकलाभ्यां निजतपःफलाभ्यां भक्तेषु प्रकटितफलाभ्यां भवतु मे शिवाभ्यामस्तोकत्रिभुवन शिवाभ्यां हृदि पुनर्भवाभ्यामानन्दस्फुरदनुभवाभ्यां नतिरियम्. Okay. We have learned till the 52nd verse, and Aditi very kindly took the revision session last class because I wasn't able to take. So we were in the World Sanskrit Conference in Kathmandu in Nepal. So I couldn't take the class last week. But what I wanted to share with you was that during our visit to Nepal, there were a few things when I was reminded of our Shivananda Lahari class and the verses we were learning. And I wanted to share that with you all in the very next week after we came back. So this verse, 44th verse, let me just chant once. Karalagna mriga karindra bhangah घनशार्दूल विखण्डनोस्तजन्तुः गिरिशो विशदाकृतिश्च चेतः कुहरे पञ्चमुखोऽस्ति मे कुतोभिः. We learned the meaning of this verse and how this word Panchamukha, it refers to a lion and also to the five-faced Ishvara. And when such a Panchamukha is in my Chetah Kuhara, in the cave called my mind, from where can there be fear for me? So when I taught this verse, we just learned the meaning and we moved ahead. And just a few days after that, I happened to visit Nepal for the conference, World Sanskrit Conference. There, we had the darshan of Pashupatinatha, which is one of the Jyotirlingas. And the reason I'm sharing this with you is because, as we have seen in so many verses, Shankaracharya refers to Parameshwara in Shivananda Lahari as Pashupate. So there are many verses in which he uses this term Pashupati. And we have also seen the meaning of Pashupati in the verses when we discussed. So it was a very blessed darshan there at Pashupatinath. And we've also been seeing how there are many kshetras referred to in Shivananda Lahari. And I also told you all, one of you all, if those are interested, could take that up as an exercise to see what are all the Kedara he refers, Chidambara Kshetra, of course, Sri Shaila and Pashupatinath. So Pashupate, he uses so many times. And Shankaracharya, during his lifetime, he visited Pashupatinath temple and he designated the puja vidhi there. And he also designated that Purohits from the Karnataka region will be the ones who worship the main deity. And to this day, the rituals and the the Purohits who have been ordained by Shankaracharya, so a particular part of Karnataka, from there the Purohits go from till this day to Pashupatinath and they worship the deity there. So Shankaracharya brought about a sort of national integration by having Purohits. Now it is a different country. It's not in India, it's in Nepal. But to this day, that practice is followed of Karnataka Purohits from here worshipping in Pashupatinath. So this, I felt it was really a blessing for all of us. And some of us from Vyoma had also presented papers. So we all had the darshan of Pashupatinatha there. And there in Pashupatinatha, we had the darshan of the Shivalinga with these five faces, Panchamukha. So till now, I hadn't seen Kshetram where the faces, all the faces of Shiva on all directions are shown, are seen. But when I had the darshan there, I immediately remembered this verse and thought I should share it with you, because though we had referred to Panchamukha as Ishvara when we discussed this verse, we didn't go into what are the five faces of Ishvara and which side faces, which face faces which direction and what it represents. So very much in brief, I will tell you today, because it almost seemed like, we had missed this and I had to share this with you. So there, like I said, Pashupati is one of the Jyotirlingas, and the Shivalinga there has four faces and the fifth face is on the top. We will come to that. So Panchamukhosti me kutobhihi Panchamukha. So these are the five names of the five faces of Parameshwara. Sadyojata, he faces the west. So when you have a Shivalinga, there are four faces facing four sides. So Sadyojata faces the west and it represents creation. Vamadeva faces the north and it represents sustenance. Tatpurusha faces the east and it represents spiritual awakening or inner wisdom. Aghora faces the south and it represents dissolution. Ishana faces the top. So these four faces are visible, Sadyojata, Vamadeva, Tatpurusha, Aghora. On all four sides of the Shivalinga, we have these faces of Parameshwara. If you have an opportunity, I would urge you all to try and make a trip to Kathmandu to have this darshan of beautiful Jyotirlinga of Pashupatinath. And Ishana, the face facing upward, there it is Nirakara, Nirguna Brahman, the ultimate reality. So there is a name, but we don't see that face. So it is Nirakara, Nirguna, that ultimate Parabrahman, representing that all-pervading reality. So these are the five faces. And there in Pashupatinath, he gives us darshan as this Panchamukha. So because we had discussed about this and we had studied this verse, immediately I thought I must share this with all of you because we hadn't mentioned the five faces of Parameshwara when we discussed the 44th verse. So that is one thing about this Kshetram. Then also, this is just, I thought I'll share a picture with you. So this is the picture of the entrance of the temple. As soon as we enter this, we cannot take any more pictures. They're very strict about it. And of course, we all must respect and follow that. But once you enter this, there is a huge Nandi. I haven't seen such a huge Nandi till now facing a Shivalinga in a temple. An extremely huge Nandi. And the temple itself, the Gopuram is in the pagoda style architecture, very huge. And you know that Adbhuta Rasa, what we say, as soon as you enter, we experience that huge. True to his name as of being Pashupati, there is a huge Nandi. Pashu also refers to all kinds of animals and including human beings who are in the path of attaining, who have still not yet attained that Atmajnanam. So there is a huge Nandi and very true to his name as Pashupatinath, when you observe, just outside, there are lots of these pigeons, monkeys, bees, cows, whatnot. So you see all these kinds of animals and birds flooding that place. Even inside the temple, you have a lot of bees and you know, these pigeons. And outside, you see these cows, bulls, pigeons, bees, monkeys, lot of monkeys. So seemed like true to his name as Pashupatinath, he's surrounded by a variety of birds and animals. So these are the aspects I wanted to share with you because this came to my mind and I thought I remembered all of us in the Shivananda Lahiri session and I thought I must share it. Of course, I'm not sharing and I have not taken pictures of the temple inside. It's a very huge structure. You, like I said, if possible, you must try and have his glorious darshan of Pashupatinath. And in case you all decide to visit, please make some inquiry on when you will be able to see all the four faces. Like I said, the fifth face is on top, and that is Nirakara, Nirguna Brahman. The four faces, because you have four doors, and only at some parts of the day, or all the four doors open, like during Aarti, during pujas, etc. So during the certain time, the four doors will be open, and you can actually see all the four faces of Parameshwara, each face facing one of the four directions. But at other times, we will only see one face from one particular door. So this information is important because if you should make that inquiry and go if you want to have the darshan of all the faces of Parameshwara when all the doors are open. And there's a beautiful Bagmati river which flows behind Pashupatinath. And so many times our Shankaracharya says Pashupate, Pashupate. So I thought I must share this experience with all of you. And then, if you remember in the last class, we had stopped, we learned 51. And then we also learnt 52, where we learnt Neelakandhara, the word Neelakandhara. So we Neelakandhara, the one with the dark neck, or Parameshwara. And I also told you that Kandhara refers to the one which bears water, that is the cloud. And we also learned how this verse is a play on words. So it can refer to both the dark necked or the blue necked Parameshwara, and it can also refer to the clouds, the megha, and the water bearing clouds, which are in that dark color. And we saw how Ghana Vipad Grishma Chida Karmatham, which gives, even a cloud gives relief from the heat in the form of rain. Similarly, Parameshwara also gives relief from the samsara tapa by showering his karunyamrita, that is his nectar of mercy in the form of rain. And we also saw Ichha Kritim, how as Parameshwara can take any form, the cloud also can, we see, right? Even children, when they say we see a rabbit, we see a horse, and clouds keep changing their form. So we can see multiple forms. And we also, in today's verse, in 53rd verse, again, we will be referring to certain synonyms of the megha, and how the clouds are seen to be emerging from the mountain. So if you see a mountain or a hill and there are clouds on top of that, it seems as though the clouds are emerging from that mountain. So that description is there in the next verse. So very aptly, again, when in Kathmandu, when I went there, I saw there were these clouds. It was just the onset of monsoon, and it's a beautiful town surrounded by Himalayas. So I was reminded of these verses of Shivananda Lahari. That's what came to my mind immediately. And I thought I must share these pictures and this experience with you all. So here are a few pictures of the clouds seemingly emerging from the mountains. And we will see that description in verse 53 today. And these are the glorious Himalayas. And this was also, this is the snow-capped peak as seen from the plane. And everywhere in the 10th chapter of Gita, Krishna says, Sthavaranam Himalaya, among the immovables, Krishna says he is the Himalaya, Himalaya Parvata. It is that glorious Adbhutam where words just fail us to even, describe it or to say how awesome it is. So no word will do justice. So when I saw these clouds and the beautiful mountains and the references to the clouds and the hills, which we are currently dealing with in our Shivananda Lahari class, I instantly thought I must share this experience with all of you. So with that, we will move to verse 53, again, where we have a beautiful description of nature. Okay. Aditi. आकाशेन शिखी समस्तफणिनाम्
आकाशेन शिखी समस्तफणिनाम् आकाशेन शिखी समस्तफणिनाम्
नेत्राकलापीनतानुग्राहि प्रणवोपदेशनिनदैः
नेत्रकलापीन
नेत्राकलापी
नेत्राकलापीनतानुग्राहि प्रणवोपदेशनिनदैः नेत्राकलापीनतानुग्राहि प्रणवोपदेशनिनदैः
ये कीर्तियोगीयते
के कीर्तियोगीयते के कीर्तियोगीयते
श्यामां शैलसमुद्भवां घनरुचिम्
श्यामां शैलसमुद्भवां घनरुचिं श्यामां शैलसमुद्भवाङ्घनरुचिं
दृष्ट्वा नटन्तं मुदा
दृष्ट्वा नटन्तं मुदा दृष्ट्वा नटन्तं मुदा
वेदान्तोपवने विहाररसिकम्
वेदान्तोपवने विहाररसिकं वेदान्तोपवने विहाररसिकं
तन्नीलकण्ठं भजे
तन्नीलकण्ठं भजे तन्नीलकण्ठं भजे
आकाशेन शिखी ही महाप्राण समस्तफणिनां फ इस् महाप्राण नेत्रा कलापि नतानुग्राहि प्रणवोपदेश निनदैः. That is a samastapadam. So we chant it together. Natanugrahi pranavopadesha ninadaihi. Please note the dvitvam. Natanugrahi pranava. Here that p is doubling. नतानुग्राहि प्रणवोपदेश निनदैः केकीति योगीयते श्यामां शैलसमुद्भवां घनरुचिं. Combining, here it becomes शैलसमुद्भवां घनरुचिं दृष्ट्वा नटन्तं मुदा वेदान्तोपवने विहाररसिकं तं नीलकण्ठं. Combining, it becomes तन्नीलकण्ठं भजे. So here, these words here, you will see the meaning. Shyamam, dark colored, Shaila Samudbhavam, emerging from the mountains. Ghana Ruchim, dark like the cloud. So this is a reference to both Parvati and to the water-bearing dark clouds which seem like they're emerging from the mountains. We will see the meaning in detail. First, we will do now one pada at a time. Akashena shikhi samastaphaninaam नेत्राकलापीनतानुग्राहि प्रणवोपदेशनिनदैः.
आकाशेन शिखी समस्तफणिनां नेत्राकलापीनतानुग्राहि प्रणवोपदेशनिनदैः आकाशेन शिखी समस्तफणिनां नेत्राकलापीनतानुग्राहि प्रणवोपदेशनिनदैः
केकीति योगीयते
केकीति योगीयते केकीति योगीयते
श्यामां शैलसमुद्भवां घनरुचिं दृष्ट्वा नटन्तं मुदा
श्यामां शैलसमुद्भवाङ्घनरुचिं दृष्ट्वा नटन्तं मुदा श्यामां शैलसमुद्भवाङ्घनरुचिं दृष्ट्वा नटन्तं मुदा
विहाररसिकं तन्नीलकण्ठं भजे.
वेदान्तोपवने विहाररसिकं तन्नीलकण्ठं भजे वेदान्तोपवने विहाररसिकं तन्नीलकण्ठं भजे
उत्तमम्. आकाशेन शिखी समस्तफणिनां नेत्राकलापीनतानुग्राहि प्रणवोपदेशनिनदैः केकीति योगीयते.
आकाशेन शिखी समस्तफणिनां नेत्राकलापीनतानुग्राहि प्रणवोपदेशनिनदैः केकीति योगीयते आकाशेन शिखी समस्तफणिनां नेत्राकलापीनतानुग्राहि प्रणवोपदेशनिनदैः केकीर्तियो गीयते
श्यामां शैलसमुद्भवाङ्घनरुचिं दृष्ट्वा नटन्तं मुदा वेदान्तोपवने विहाररसिकं तन्नीलकण्ठं भजे।
श्यामां शैलसमुद्भवाङ्घनरुचिं दृष्ट्वा नटन्तं मुदा वेदान्तोपवने विहाररसिकं तन्नीलकण्ठं भजे श्यामां शैलसमुद्भवाङ्घनरुचिं दृष्ट्वा नटन्तं मुदा वेदान्तोपवने विहाररसिकं तन्नीलकण्ठं भजे
आकाशेन शिखी समस्तफणिनां नेत्राकलापीनतानुग्राहि प्रणवोपदेशनिनदैः केकीर्तियो गीयते। श्यामां शैलसमुद्भवाङ्घनरुचिं दृष्ट्वा नटन्तं मुदा वेदान्तोपवने विहाररसिकं तन्नीलकण्ठं भजे।
आकाशेन शिखी समस्तफणिनां नेत्राकलापीनतानुग्राहि प्रणवोपदेशनिनदैः केकीर्तियो गीयते श्यामां शैलसमुद्भवाङ्घनरुचिं दृष्ट्वा नटन्तं मुदा वेदान्तोपवने विहाररसिकं तन्नीलकण्ठं भजे
Tamam. So here in this verse, Vedantopavane Vihararasikam Tam Neelakantham Bhaje. I worship or I sing the glory of that Neelakantha. Neelakantha, the one with the dark throat or a blue neck, Parameshwara. Where is he? Vedantopavane Vihara Rasikam. He is rejoicing in the Upavana, the garden. And what is the garden? Vedanta. Vedanta refers to the essence of the Vedas. That is the heart or the essence of the Vedas, which are the Upanishads. So, he is the one who is thought to be known through the Upanishads. And he is the subject of inquiry of the Upanishads. So, Vedantopavane, Vedanta in the garden of the Upanishads or Vedanta, the one who is rejoicing, I worship, salute, or I sing the glory of such a Neelakantha, the blue throat Parameshwara. Now, Neelakantha, again, this verse is a play on words. Neelakantha also refers to a Mayuraha, a peacock. So, if you see, a peacock has a blue neck, right? That beautiful hue of blue which it has. So, it also refers to a peacock. Now, like we have seen in many verses, even in this verse, Acharya Bhagavatpada, he gives us a play on the words where the other lines, which you see in this verse, they are adjectives both to a, you can take it to mean to a Mayuraha, peacock, or Parameshwara. So Neelakantha is a synonym for both Parameshwara and the peacock, Mayuraha. So let us see how that is. Akashena Shikhi. So Parameshwara is represented as having the sky, the entire Akasha, as his matted locks, which is why he is referred to as Vyoma Kesha, right? Vyoma refers to the sky, and Kesha, the matted locks of the hair. So the sky itself is the matted locks of hair of Parameshwara. So he has the name Vyomakesha. So Akashena Shikhi. He gets the name Vyomakesha or Shikhi owing to the matted locks of hair, which are nothing but the sky itself. And Shikhi is another synonym for a peacock also, because it has those feathery plumes. So Shikhi is also a synonym for a Mayura or a peacock. Then Samasta Phaninam Netra Kalapi. So Parameshwara is also called Kalapi. Why? Because he has Samasta Phaninam Netra Kalapi. Samasta Phaninam, that is the leader of all the serpents, Netra. Thereby the leader of all the serpents, which refers to Adishesha, Kalapi, because he is having Adishesha, who is the leader of all the serpents, as his ornament. So Adishesha is the ornament of Parameshwara. Therefore, he has the name Kalapi. So note the names Shikhi, Kalapi. Now, Kalapi is also also refers to a peacock, because a peacock's feathery tail is referred to as Kalapa. The one which has that feathery tail is called a Kalapi. Therefore, a peacock also is referred to as Kalapi. So Shikhi, Kalapi, synonyms to both Parameshwara and Mayura. Natanugrahi Pranavopadesha Ninataihi Keki, the third name, Keki. So Keki refers to a peacock, because it makes the sound which a peacock makes is referred to as Keka, the peacock sound. The one which makes the sound is Keki. Therefore, peacock Mayura is called Keki. Now, how does it apply to Parameshwara? Natanugrahi Pranava Upadesha Ninadaihi. So, Nata Anugrahi, in order to bless the ones who surrender or the ones who pray, prostrate to Parameshwara, he gives Pranavopadesha. What is Pranavopadesha? That syllable Om. Om Ityekaksharam Brahma. We saw it comes in Gita also and in Upanishads. So that Pranava Upadesha Ninadaihi, that nada of Pranavopadesha, which Parameshwara bestows on the ones who prostrate to him, that Pranava itself, that Pranavanada itself is Paramashiva, and he blesses his devotees with this Pranavopadesha. That Nada is called Keka. So by blessing his devotees with the Pranavopadesha and that Pranavanada, he is called Keki. So here, Keki, this word with reference to a peacock, it means the one which makes the Keka sound. With reference to Parameshwara, it means it refers to the Pranavanada or the syllable Om. So Shikhi, Kalapi, Keki, 3 words. Yo Giyate, Yaha Giyate, the one who is sung or praised by these words called Shikhi, Kalapi, Keki. And we saw how it refers to a peacock also. So what happens? Shyamam, Shaila Samudbhavam, Dhananchim, Drishtva, Muda Natantam, Vedantopavane Vihararasikam, Sam Neelakantham Bhaje. Shyamam refers to the dark complexioned Parvati Devi. There are legends of when Parvati took this dark complexion and how Parameshwara, in order to please her, he did the Ananda Tandava Natya. So Shyamam, that is Parameshwari herself, the dark complexioned Parvati Devi. Shaila Samudbhavam. She is Shaila Samudbhava. She is Parvata Rajaputri, Parvati. She is the daughter of Parvata Raja, Himalayas. Right? So she is Shaila Samudbhava, the one who has emerged from the mountains, the daughter of the Himalaya mountains. Ghana Ruchim, and who is dark like the clouds. Drishtva, having seen her, Parameshwara, he performs the Ananda Tandava, Muda Natantam, dancing with delight. Further, where Vedantopavane Vihara Rasikam, who is rejoicing in the Vedanta Upavana, the garden of Vedanta. Tam Neelakantham Bhaje. I worship or prostrate or sing the glory of such a Neelakantha. Now, the third line, when we take it to mean the clouds, which is why I showed you the pictures today. I had prepared to teach you this verse last class, but we couldn't. But anyway, we're doing it today. So, Dina Samudbhavam Ghanaruchim Shyamam. These words also can apply to the cloud, the water-bearing cloud, which is dark in color. And like we saw in the pictures today, it seems as though the clouds are emerging from the peaks, the hills, right? Yeah. So therefore, it is called Shailasa. The word Shailasa Mudbhava with reference to the clouds refers to the clouds which are which seem like they're emerging from the mountains or the hills. Drishtva. So the peacocks, whenever there is thunder and there is, there is an announcement sort of by nature in the form of thunder and slight drizzle that there is going to be rain, the peacocks are very happy and they start dancing in delight. So when you take this verse to mean a peacock, it means on seeing the dark water-bearing clouds emerging from the hills or mountains, Drishtva Mudanatantam, the peacocks rejoice and they start dancing there in the Upavana, in the garden. They rejoice. And Neelakantha here refers to, when you take it as the clouds and the Mayura, here the Neelakantha word refers to a peacock. So I hope you got how this verse is a play on words to both Parameshwara, who rejoices on seeing the dark complexioned Shyama, Shaila Samudbhava Parvati Devi, and he rejoices in the Vedanta Upavana, that is the garden of Vedanta, and the peacock, Neelakantha, which on seeing the water-bearing clouds, dark clouds emerging from the hills or mountains, also it rejoices and dances in delight. And these three words, Shikhi, Kalapi, Keki, how they apply both to Parameshwara and to a peacock, Mayuraha. I worship that Neelakantha, Bhagavan Shiva, who joyfully rejoices in the garden of Vedanta. He is known as Shikhi, having the vast sky as his matted hair. He is adorned by the leader of all serpents, hence praised as Kalapi. His resounding teachings of the sacred Pranava Om shower blessings upon those who bow before him, and he is glorified as Keki. Upon seeing his consort Shyama, the dark-complexioned Parvati, born of the mountains, and radiates the splendor of dense rain clouds, he dances in delight. He performs the Ananda Tandava. Such a blissful and resplendent form of Shiva, I revere and adore. This verse is a word play using words which apply to the peacock and Bhagavan Shiva. We will chant this once. आकाशेन शिखी समस्तफणिनां नेत्राकलापीनतानुग्राहि प्रणवोपदेशनिनदैः केकीति योगीयते श्यामां शैलसमुद्भवां घनरुचिं दृष्ट्वा नटन्तं मुदा वेदान्तोपवने विहाररसिकं तन्नीलकण्ठं भजे. Okay, now we will by also these verses we must see that they are showing us divinity in nature, that there's nothing beyond it. So we should engage with these verses and do our swadhyaya. And like I've been saying, the meaning, multiple layers, the depths of meaning they will reveal themselves to us as we engage with them and, do swadhyaya and abhyasa regularly. Now, Charu. Sandhya Gharmadinatyayo
Sandhya Gharmadinatyayo Sandhya Gharmadinatyayo सन्ध्याघर्मदिनात्ययो
हरिकराघात प्रभूतानकध्वानो
हरिकराघातप्रभूतानकध्वानो हरिकराघातप्रभूतानकध्वानो
बारिदगर्जितं दिविशदाम्
वारिदगर्जितं दिविशदाम् वारिदगर्जितं दिविशदाम्
दृष्टिच्छटा चञ्चला
दृष्टिच्छटा चञ्चला दृष्टिच्छटा चञ्चला
भक्तानां परितोषबाष्पविततिः
भक्तानां परितोषबाष्पविततिः भक्तानां परितोषबाष्पविततिः
वृष्टिर्मयूरी शिवा
वृष्टिर्मयूरी शिवा वृष्टिर्मयूरी शिवा
यस्मिन्नुज्ज्वलताण्डवं विजयते
यस्मिन्नुज्ज्वलताण्डवं विजयते यस्मिन्नुज्ज्वलताण्डवं विजयते
तन्नीलकण्ठं भजे
तन्नीलकण्ठं भजे तन्नीलकण्ठं भजे.
All verses today refer to the peacocks dancing at the onset of monsoon or when it rains, when there are clouds, thunder, lightning. So this was not planned by me. I never thought that, we will have these pictures and then we will be doing these verses. So it was planned by him and our guru. So that's how today all the verses seem to be referring to that. सन्ध्याघर्मदिनात्ययो हरिकराघात प्रभूतानकध्वानो
सन्ध्याघर्मदिनात्ययो हरिकराघातप्रभूतानकध्वानो सन्ध्याघर्मदिनात्ययो हरिकराघातप्रभूतानकध्वानो
बारिदगर्जितं दिविशदां दृष्टिच्छटा चञ्चला
वारिदगर्जितं दिविशदां दृष्टिच्छटा चञ्चला वारिदगर्जितं दिविशदां दृष्टिच्छटा चञ्चला
भक्तानां परितोषबाष्पविततिः वृष्टिर्मयूरी शिवा
भक्तानां परितोषबाष्पविततिः वृष्टिर्मयूरी शिवा भक्तानां परितोषबाष्पविततिः वृष्टिर्मयूरी शिवा
विजयते तन्नीलकण्ठं भजे
यस्मिन्नुज्ज्वलताण्डवं विजयते तन्नीलकण्ठं भजे यस्मिन्नुज्ज्वलताण्डवं विजयते तन्नीलकण्ठं भजे.
संध्या महाप्राण घर्म दिनात्ययो here harikaraघात प्रभूतानक. Please note the dvitvam. Harikathaघात प्रभूतानक. Dvitvam here, p is doubling. Here one word, so we don't split. Harikaraघात प्रभूतानक dhvano till Prabhutanakadvano. Note the dvitvam there also. The dha is doubling. Varida garjitam divishadam. Combining it becomes Varida garjitam divishadam. Drishti chata. Second cha is Mahaprana. Chanchala. Bhaktanam bha. Paritosha bashpa vitatihi. Vrishtir mayuri shiva. Note the pronunciation of sha and sha. Vrishti. Shiva. Subtle differences there. You can go back to the class on pronunciation to note the difference. Here, if you choose to combine, it becomes Paritosha Bashpa Vitatir Brishtir Mayuri Shiva. Yasmin Nujvala Tandavam Vijayate. Combining here Anuswara and we could chant it as Yasmin Nujvala Tandavam Vijayate. Tam Neelakantham. Combining it becomes Tan Neelakantham Bhaje. Note the Mahapranas. Very beautiful verse again describing rain, peacock dancing, Ananda Tandava of Parameshwara. Sandhya Dharma Dinatyayo Harikaraghat Prabhutana Kadhvano Varida Garjitan Divishadam Drishtichata Chanchala.
सन्ध्याघर्मदिनात्ययो हरिकराघातप्रभूतानकध्वानो वारिदगर्जितं दिविशदा दृष्टिच्छटा चञ्चला सन्ध्याघर्मदिनात्ययो हरिकराघातप्रभूतानकध्वानो वारिदगर्जितं दिविशदा दृष्टिच्छटा चञ्चला
भक्तानां परितोष बाष्प
भक्तानां परितोषबाष्पविततिः वृष्टिर्मयूरी शिवा यस्मिन्नुज्ज्वलताण्डवं विजयते तन्नीलकण्ठं भजे भक्तानां परितोषबाष्पविततिः वृष्टिर्मयूरी शिवा यस्मिन्नुज्ज्वलताण्डवं विजयते तन्नीलकण्ठं भजे.
Okay, I think we lost your connection for a bit, Charu. Anyway, we will try. I will chant the entire verse once now. Sandhya Dharma Dinatyayo Harikaraghat Prabhutana Kadhvano Varida Garjitan Divishadam Drishtichata Chanchala Bhaktanam Paritosha Bashpavitatihi Vrishtirmayuri Shiva Yasminnujjwalatandavam vijayate tannīlakantham bhaje.
सन्ध्याघर्मदिनात्ययो हरिकराघातप्रभूतानकध्वानो वारिदगर्जितं दिविशदा दृष्टिच्छटा चञ्चला भक्तानां परितोषबाष्पविततिः वृष्टिर्मयूरी शिवा यस्मिन्नुज्ज्वलताण्डवं विजयते तन्नीलकण्ठं भजे.
Yasminnujjwalatandavam vijayate tannīlakantham bhaje. Again, in this verse, I sing the glory of, or I worship that Parameshwara who is Neelakantha, that is, who has a blue neck. So, Sandhya Dharma Dina Drishtichata Chanchala Bhaktanam Paritosha Bashpa Vitatihi Drishtihi Shiva Mayuri Yasmin Ujjvala Tandavam Vijayate Tam Neelakantham Bhaje. In this verse again, the word Neelakantha refers to both peacock and Parameshwara. Mayuri here refers to both Parvati Devi and a peahen. So it is a description of Parameshwara performing the Ananda Tandava, the joyful dance of Tandava on seeing Shyama, on seeing Mayuri, on seeing Parvati Devi. And another meaning is it is the dance, the peacock dance performed for the Mayuri or the peahen. So, Sandhya Dharma Dinatyayo. Sandhya refers to as we know, the twilight or Pratha Sandhya, Sayam Sandhya, both are there. The transition from dawn to dusk. So that is the reference here. So that transition time, twilight from dawn to dusk, that is called Sandhya. Sandhya Kala is supposed to be extremely auspicious and very powerful for any upasana, any form of worship, which is why we have Sandhya Vandanam, which has been prescribed, that is to worship Bhagavan during these Sandhya times, early morning, that is dawn break, when there is a break of dawn, and evening in that twilight period. And what happens in that time? This here it is referring to the evening, Sandhya. Dharma Dina Atyayaha. It is the end of a very hot day. So when you have that cool breeze in the evening at the end of a hot day, it gives a lot of relief. Also, another reference in the same verse is to the end of the very hot summers and when you have the onset of showers. Period being referred to. So in the evening, which signifies the end of a hot day, and with reference to our lives, when there is the end of the samsara tapa, and we are experiencing that bliss of Bhagavan. Also, another very important reference to Sandhya, which we won't be dealing with in detail, but you can read up in yoga, in meditation. Sandhya Kala, that period of transition, is known to be that subtle space, that subtle time, very minute space or time between two thoughts, which is supposed to be the experience of Parameshwara or Shiva. So with meditation, yogis, they can prolong that sandhya, that period of awareness, stillness between two thoughts, which leads to the awakening of Parameshwara or spiritual awakening between that time. That also is called Sandhya. So, Sandhya Dharma Dinatyayaha. In the evening, signifying the end of a hot day. Hari Karaghata Prabhutanaka Dhvanaha. Hari refers to Vishnu. Karaghata, produced by the loud sound produced by Vishnu's hands by playing Mridangam. Harikaraghata Prabhutanaka Dhvanaha. Anaka Dhvanaha, the nada or the sound produced by the Mridangam, which is played by the hands of Vishnu. So it is believed that when Shiva does the Ananda Tandava, Vishnu plays the Mridangam. So both of them, like we saw, they admire each other and they are mutually, devotees of each other, so to say. So they delight each other. So Vishnu very delightfully plays the Mridangam, and we know how important rhythm is for a dancer. And Parameshwara, he performs the Ananda Tandava. So this scene we must visualize in this particular verse. Sorry. Varida Garjitam. Now, Varida Garjitam refers to the sound produced by the thunder of clouds. Varida, Vari water. Varida, the one which gives water. That is the cloud. Garjitam, the thunder which is produced by the clouds. Divishadam Drishtichata Chanchala. So that Mridangam played by Vishnu, which provides the rhythm to Parameshwara, it is like the thunderous sound produced by the clouds. And the Divishadam Drishtichata Chanchala. So when you visualize a dancer performing, they move from one place to the other, right? When they're depicting an incident or something. So they're not stationary in one place, they're moving. So the sight of the onlookers also moves. It is chanchala. It is not steady or stationary. It moves along with where the person dancing is moving. And now you can imagine this Ananda Tandava being performed by Parameshwara. And Parameshwara, there are, you can see in sculptures also, he can also dance on one leg with one leg completely in the air, one leg completely raised above and the other leg on the ground, and he can dance. That is also depicted, if you see in Shiva temples, very beautifully depicted. So when Parameshwara is performing that Ananda Tandava very swiftly and moving around, the Devatas, their drishtihi, their eyesight is chanchala. Now, how is it? It is like lightning. Now, this word chanchala is a synonym to lightning also. So this gaze of the Devatas, which is constantly moving when Parameshwara is performing his Ananda Tandava Natyam, that is the lightning. And what is the rain? Bhaktanam paritosha bashpa vitatihi. Now, witnessing this beautiful scene in the evening, Sandhya Kala, when Vishnu is playing the Mridangam rhythmically, and the Devatas are onlooking the Parameshwara's Ananda Tandava, and Parameshwara is performing this rejoicing at the sight of Shyama, Mayuri, that is Parvati Devi. Looking at this scene, the bhaktas, the devotees, are filled with tears. Their tears are flowing down. So they are overjoyed, and that is and they are filled with tears, and the tears are flowing down their cheeks of the devotees. So that itself is the vrishti, the tears of joy of the devotees visualizing this scene. That is the rain. Bhaktanam paritosha bashpa vitatihi. The tears of joy flowing down the devotee Devi. And Yasmin Ujjvala Tandavam Vijayate Tam Neelakantham Bhaje. In whom Ujjvala Tandavam, the dance of great joy, Ananda Tandava, this is joyful dance, Vijayate. It triumphs or is beautifully expressed. I salute or I worship, I sing the glory of that Neelakantha. This is in what we call Rupakalankara in Sanskritam. And this also refers to both. You can take it as referring to a peacock and a peahen. In the evening, when at the end of a hot day, when there is the onset of downpour, so the clouds are announcing the arrival of rain in the form of thunder, dark clouds, there is lightning, and at that time you have a heavy downpour, and just before that you see the peacock rejoicing and dancing in the company of the peahen. Similarly, when we take it to mean for Parameshwara, that Sandhya, I told you the significance of the Sandhya Kala. Cheeks of devotees and joy looking at the scene, that is the Vrishti. And Shiva, Mayuri, refers to Parvati Devi herself. And when Parameshwara dances, performs the Ananda Tandava, Parameshwara. Now we also know references where Parvati took the form of a peacock and worshipped Parameshwara. In Mylapore in Chennai, we have that temple where Parvati took the form of a peahen, sorry, not peacock, peahen, and worshipped Parameshwara. Similarly, this verse refers to, sorry, I think the slide sharing suddenly got stopped, isn't it?
Yes,
Are you
ma'am.
able to see the slides?
No, we're not able to see the slides.
Okay. Now,
It's loading at the moment. Just give a second.
able to see now?
Yes, yes.
Okay, great. Sorry about that. So let us do the verse the entire meaning once and we'll chant the verse and conclude. I worship that Nilakantha, Bhagavan Shiva, in whom the radiant Ananda Tandava, the dance of supreme bliss, shines gloriously. As evening sets, marking the end of a scorching day, the rhythmic beats of the Mridanga, played by Vishnu's hands, resound like rolling thunderclouds. The gazes of the celestial beings flash like streaks of lightning, while the tears of joy flowing from the eyes of devoted worshippers become sacred rain, showering divine grace. In this divine spectacle, Parvati, like a joyful peahen, delights in the grandeur of Shiva's cosmic dance. To that resplendent, blissful, I bow in reverence. सन्ध्याघर्मदिनात्ययो हरिकराघात विशदां दृष्टिच्छटा चञ्चला भक्तानां परितोषबाष्पविततिः वृष्टिर्मयूरी शिवा यस्मिन्नुज्ज्वलताण्डवौ विजयते तन्नीलकण्ठं भजे. We will conclude with Shanti Mantraha. सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्. ॐ special class for me also. Thank you so much, Charu and Aditi, for assisting with the Anucharanam. We will meet next Saturday.